Notts County Talk, Thursday evening means Pavis Perspective. Episode 142. It's the Newport preview. A very, very busy week. Myself and George, we enjoyed the fans forum, didn't we, on Tuesday, George?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, very insightful.
Yeah, it was. Plenty of that to talk about. We've got to talk about the Crewe game, obviously. History repeated itself. Probably worse this time, if I'm honest, with that penalty decision we've got. Some say it didn't matter. Some say it does matter. We'll give our thoughts on that. Talk at the fan forum as well of January for 3 long-term injuries. We'll work out who they are, and we probably already know who they are. But it looks like it's going to be, all hands on deck getting into January, just to get those reinforcements back, stay in that playoff spot, really, not the top 3. As always, we are powered by Better Bytes. Computers, use the code Pavis Perspective in store and you'll get a discount off computer repairs or refurbished computers. Kev, fantastic guy, Notts fan that runs the shop, had a really good chat with him at Crewe before. So yeah, go in, mention the podcast, mention the channel, and you'll get discount. And as always, if you're listening back on Spotify, please do drop that 5-star review. George, have you got the poll question for today? Obviously, always related to football.
Yes. This is as football related as it gets, I think.
Go on then. What's the poll question today?
Bath or shower?
I've voted. I'm in there straight away.
Oh, you voted for this one?
Of course I voted for this one, mate.
I didn't think you were fond of either, to be honest.
No. I voted strongly. And the cold weather has the cold weather's influenced me on this one. I'll be honest with you. Melanie got the anagram already. Emails is Eli Sam. Yeah, we got asked at the fans forum to make a bit of an easier one. But yeah, so it is Eli Sam. But I think that's probably the best anagram for any player. What do you reckon? Emails. When it popped up, I was like, unreal.
Get it.
Unreal. Before we get Ian in, representing Newport, let's see who we've got with us. James says #mug1. The mugs will be very, very shortly. The mugs will be done for the giveaway shortly. Royston is here. Rob, John, from a Frozen Nuneaton, Paul, Ian, Marcus, Stephen, Adi, plenty of you regulars. Ewan, Jane, Milkman Hero, Mickey, who is a channel member, Ken, Phil, Helen, channel member, Martin, Evening is a channel member with one of those mugs. Look, you can see in the picture. Ian, Callum, another channel member, thank you so much for joining us. What we're going to ask tonight is please do leave a like on the video. As I'm going to say, George, I reckon for a scheduled show, taking out pre-season, I reckon we've not missed a Thursday for maybe a year now. Would you say a year's worth of shows?
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I think it's going well. It's going well. Right, before we kick off and talk about the Crewe fixture and everything like that, let's talk our opponents for this weekend. A 12:30 kickoff. Do not forget. Let's get Ian in, Newport fan. Ian, thank you for joining us.
Absolute pleasure, guys. You all okay?
Yes, good. Thank you. So we asked this, start of the season, the first time we sort of chat to any fan, and I'm sure if we have you back on when the reverse fixture, we'll obviously start with a different question. But how did you expect your season to go before it started, before a ball was kicked?
It's a good question. It's very tricky to answer because we have had a fundamental change at our club. We had a new owner come in halfway through last season. We've got a new manager. We had 17 new players come in at the start of the season with a very different strategy put in place by the new owner. So a lot of us were just scratching our heads a bit going, we have no idea what's going to happen and how this is going to play out. And on our podcast, there's 5 of us who do it. And I think we predicted everywhere from like 9th to 22nd. So that shows you it's a season of transition for us. For myself personally, I was like, well, anywhere mid-table, lower mid-table, we're happy. It's all about next season for us, providing we can stay in the division this year, which some don't think we will.
How do you think, like you just said, if you stay in the division, right now, gut feeling, what do you think about that? I know it's still quite early, but what do you reckon?
We'll be okay.
Do you think so?
Yeah. We're wildly inconsistent, often in the same game. So, there are times this season we've been bobbins. There's other times where we've been great, or taking surprise results like going to Gillingham and winning 2-0 or whatever, So I think we've got enough about us to pick up enough points to be fine. I mean, I know that's like the kiss of death, isn't it? But I think we're going to be fine. And I think because of the influx of players that we've had, and they're all of a particular age. They're all like 24, 25 on 2-year deals, which is really weird for us. Very different way of going about things. They should get better as we go through the season, is our view. And that's my view. The coach is trying to change what we do. So, you're trying to blend all those players together, trying to work out what the formation is, trying to get your partnerships working. That takes time, doesn't it? It doesn't happen overnight. So we should get better as the season goes on, is I think what will happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think this league is strange this year. Someone asked me the other day on, I think it was before the Crewe game. I think it was a Crewe podcast. Asked me who the best, like if I think the league is reflective, and I said, well, the best team I think we've come up against is Swindon, and they're right down there. And one of the not weaker, but the least impressive teams from my perspective was Port Vale. I thought last year it was very much 3 very, very good teams that just went away with the league. Do you think this? How do you think the league is this year on the whole? I think it's a bit unpredictable, if I'm honest.
I think it is unpredictable, and we've often said you can sort of throw a blanket over half the division, and anyone could beat anyone. I like it for that. Last season we had a lot of we had the money bags teams in it. And it just felt a bit like, yeah, whatever, get out, move on, and let everyone else like play some proper football. For me, so we've done that. We got absolutely bad by Swindon, which was a nightmare for us because it's sort of a rival for us. I think it's only 1 or 2 games they've won, and we were absolutely woeful that day. One of the worst I've ever seen us play ever. And yet we've also beaten Donny 3-0 and gone away and won at Gillingham 2-0. And so, it's an odd division, I think. I think I'd agree with you.
Yeah, very, very strange. If you have got a question for him, just pop it in the chat. As always, we'll try to put those questions up if they come in time. I've just seen, I think it was announced today, wasn't it? A season-ending injury for Aaron Wildig.
Yeah.
How important is he for you, and how much will that impact Newport?
It is sort of a big blow, and what I mean by that is we don't have, because we brought in all these young players, we don't have that many older heads in the squad. He was one, and he was the captain, and he was also sort of, when he's on it, he's a really good creative player. The problem, I think, is that in all the time he's been with us, he's probably only played about 50% of the games. He has had injury problems, nothing as serious as this doing his ACL. So we are going to miss him. There's no doubt about that. But I think we'll miss him a bit now. But I do think, as I was saying, I think after Christmas and January, I think we've got other players who can come in with more pace who can replace him.
Yeah.
I'm right in thinking you've got Kyle Hudlin now, haven't you?
We've got the giant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look out.
How's he doing?
I can't make him out, to be honest with you. I can't take it seriously when I'm watching him warm up because he's looking like he's playing with an under-9s team around him. He is a big man, but he scored a few goals. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's not all with his noggin either. He scored a great goal at Gillingham. I was at Bradford. He scored a brilliant header at Bradford. Scored at Tranmere the other week. So he is scoring goals. Missed a pen, which should have last week, unfortunately, where we should have beaten Grimsby, but he missed a pen for that. So he is scoring goals, and he does create problems. He's also quite frustrating, to be honest with you. So he's a bit like a microcosm of our season. Inconsistent, never know quite what you're going to get, can surprise you. Is what I'd say.
What an option, though. A striker of that size. I remember watching him. Was it Solihull? I think he used to play for Solihull. Yeah. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, I think he's gone to Huddersfield, and it's like, wow, well, where did that come from? But
we've got him on loan from Huddersfield. So he's still there. We got him on loan, and hilariously we bought a guy from QPR who was only 6'6", and he got injured in the first game of the season. So we went out and got a crisis replacement till January, which is Hudlin. And so, I'd like to play them both, and we could play like a front two of about 19 foot. That'd be quite different.
That would be a bit of a.
He's had a crazy career though, hasn't he? Because I remember years ago, Tom, me and you went to, I think it was like Guiseley versus Mickleover, a 3-season friendly, just to go to a game because we knew someone that was playing. and he was playing for Guiseley at the time, and he didn't. I don't think he played a minute. And then a season or so later, he was at Solihull, and then all of a sudden, obviously, he's with the sort of reserves at Huddersfield, isn't he? But then, like the trajectory of his career just sort of took off all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's an odd fish. I think. I think as you'll see Saturday, he's different. I think is the best way of describing him. And he can be a handful, but there's times, honestly, watching him, he can be, from a Newport perspective, staggeringly frustrating as well. Sometimes someone described him as like he's 6'9", but he jumps 5'7". So he doesn't always play to his height.
Yeah. No, I think I don't mean this. I haven't seen him play for a long time, but I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. But I think when you've got an attribute like that or a bit of pace, you can almost play a division above where you maybe should settle. So, I mean, if it goes to late on and you're lumping the ball in the box at Med Lane, I'll be panicking if he stood there. Definitely. Question here from one of our channel members: how much are Newport missing Will Evans? I know he's a player that Notts fans kind of wanted in as cover for when Langstaff left.
Yeah, and I think there was rumours he was coming to you, wasn't there? There was certainly at our end there was a bit of a rumour about that. Yeah, massively. He's 20 goal season striker. Welsh, what's not to like about Will Evans? He was also a great guy. Really good bloke. Works incredibly hard. I was surprised he went to Mansfield, to be honest with you, but that was the best deal that was knocking about at the time. So it was a question for us that we needed to take the cash, and he needed to move on. So it was it met all parties, interests. But it's an interesting one because we've got a little bit of a conveyor belt's far too strong a word. We are tapping the Welsh leagues quite well. So when he came to us, that was his first pro contract. Quite late in his career. We've got another one playing who will hopefully be playing Saturday called Kai Whitmore. All-action midfielder. I've got a lot of us have got a lot of hopes for him that he will be the sort of next one of those. But yeah, we're massively missing him. We haven't replaced his goals. We haven't replaced his work rate up front. Yeah, he's a big miss. No doubt about that.
Going back to when we talked about Wildig and his ACL injury, we've got Jody Jones, who thankfully now isn't out with an ACL injury, but is out with foot injury and won't be playing against you. I want to take you back.
I'm very relieved to hear that.
Yeah, I want to take you back to the game at your place back in February last year. And we're not in a bad way. We turned up and I've got to say, for a number of years, I've not seen an individual performance better than the one Jody Jones did, especially first half at your place. I don't know if you were there, but I've never seen someone dribble around as many players in 45 minutes.
He's the player that was really scaring me for Saturday. And to be honest with you, Notts were the best team by a million miles we played last season, right? So we beat Stockport 3-0. We beat Wrexham. So the big guns, we beat them. So we could mix it with anyone. We didn't lay a glove on you in both games. And the game at your place, we were lucky to get 0 and we were lucky to lose by 3. That could have been a cricket score. And potentially our manager was under so much pressure after that. We went away the next game and won at Gillingham again. But yeah, you guys were hands down for me the best team we played last year in both games. We didn't get anywhere near you at all. Admittedly, we did play like a pub team in both of those games, but you guys rocked, and I was really surprised that you didn't go up in the top 3. So I was very nervous about coming up against him again. So I'm quite glad that he's not playing.
Yeah, I mean, we drove back from that game to Nottingham, didn't we, George? And we were talking. We couldn't believe how well he played. And you said I think you went and won the game after that, didn't you? And you just said, we thought that was a corner turn for our season. I think we went and lost after that, if memory serves. But yeah, massive loss for us. And I think from our perspective, if when he's back in January, we can be anywhere near that, the top 3, certainly playoffs, I think we're doing amazingly, because to miss a player like him, it is big. Couple more questions then before we let you go. First one is, and you might have already mentioned a name here, if there's one player in your team that we might not know about and you think will impress us on Saturday, who is it?
I think Whitmore is the one. He's not the finished article, and he's come out of the Cymru League. So what we find when we get players like the Cymru Leagues is they're playing semi-pro at that level, so they've got to get used to the week in, the sort of Tuesday, Saturday slog that Division 4 football is. but he's quite exciting in the early days. You know, he's scored an absolute worldy goal. He's a tears around midfield like a sort of, you know, Labrador puppy. You know, he's the sort of player that fans like. You know what I mean? And again, he's a Welsh lad and he's come out of the Welsh League, so we like him. But he's so eager that, you know, he got injured running around. So he's just coming back. He's just coming back in. So I think he'll play Saturday. He might not be quite up to match fitness, but he's got something about him, I think.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for him. And then my final question before we let you go is, what is your score prediction?
Well, now you've told me Jody Jones is not playing, I feel a little bit better. I'm coming Saturday, so I'm hoping you got you got heating and all that jazz. About we could be. Is that going to be game on? We're all right for the.
And we have a massive pitch renovation. We've got a spoil, haven't we, George?
Yeah, right. Because it's early start, isn't it? But yeah. So my prediction: I'm always trying to be positive, right? I always try and be positive. So. You were so much better than last year. I am quite fearful of the Saturday, to be honest with you. But until last Saturday, we hadn't drawn a game in the entire division. That shows you how inconsistent we are.
Yeah.
I feel maybe we might. Could we squeak another draw, like a 1-1, something like that? But we don't draw many, so I'm going to go. It's going to be 1-1, and then Udlin's going to score late on. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for us. But I genuinely, that's only because I'm a positive person. I think we're going to struggle, and I think every Newport fan, if we could come away from your place with some sort of respectability, I think pretty much we'd all take that.
Yeah, fair enough. I think you'll see a very different style of side that showed up last season against Newport. But yeah, safe travels, Ian. Thank you for coming on. It's very, very cold up in Nottingham. There's been a lot of snow about, but yeah, game should be on. So safe travels.
Cheers. All the best, guys.
Thanks for joining us, Ian. Cheers.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah. Thank you to Ian. Got to say, George, guests have been great this year. Every single time I've had a guest, they've been fantastic. Milkman says no undersoilers, ballers aren't connected. I don't know if you have me on.
No, I think that is right. I feel like the infrastructure is there for us to have underfloor heating, but it's not actually it's not connected yet.
I did think this on my way home. The ground is going to be frozen solid, but
what, on Saturday?
No. As of now.
Oh, right, okay.
And I think if it was a 3:00 game, you're like guaranteed that it's on.
The weather's going to pick up though, isn't it, on the weekend? It's going to be
5 degrees tomorrow. By kickoff, it's going to be 8 degrees. So you'd like to hope it's all right. I think. I mean, if it was a 3:00 kickoff, it would be up to 12, 13 degrees. But it'll be on, won't it?
Well, yeah, you better hope so. If we've got the early kickoff, we really better hope so. I'm willing to go down with my hairdryer if it's any chance of it being off, to be honest.
Just rip the hand dryers off the walls.
Yeah, but they won't work then, will they?
They will. They'll work as well as they used to, won't they?
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
Loads of you joining us this evening, so really, really appreciate that. Please do drop a like on the video. That would help us out massively. Mark says
vote in the poll as well. If you're watching and you haven't voted in the poll, vote in the poll.
Yeah,
it's really got 99 votes at the minute. I would like to hit 120 by the time we do it, but I mean, we'll see how it happens.
Yeah,
we'll see if you care enough.
We will. Sally says torrential rain expected. If it does rain, like quite a lot through the night, especially on Saturday, I mean, we'll be fine, won't we? Wouldn't that be better for the pitch?
Yeah,
surely it would. Yeah, loads of rain all weekend. I think we'll be in that sweet spot between not too much rain to like completely write the pitch off, and also it not being too frozen. So yeah, great observation here. Let me find it. Tom arranged his books by colour. I can't actually read, so they're not my books.
How did you just read that comment?
Hey, I've got my headphones have got like the thingy in the
audio description.
My headphones are, yeah.
That's good. That is
like a very like discreet headphone. No, but I didn't do that. No, it looks good there, doesn't it?
It does. What books you got there, Tom? Any titles or?
A lot of Biff and chip books.
Okay. Right.
And that's it. That's all I've got, really.
Any biographies?
No.
None. There's definitely one in there. I saw it the other day.
No, none.
There is.
Absolutely none.
There absolutely is.
There we go. Are you gutted about Crewe?
Yeah, of course I am.
It was a bad performance.
Yeah.
I just don't. Right, it was a bad performance. I don't know if you're with me on this. I don't really know what people expected. I really don't know what people expected. Obviously, I thought it'd be better than that. But you went in with the front three, essentially, of Sam Austin, Giovanni Brown, and Kedwin Scott. For starters, those three haven't played together as a three at all this season. We're away against a good side. You're missing Dan Crowley to create.
Yeah.
I don't really know what was expected. And people, the performance is terrible. Well, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I know, like the hindsight's a beautiful thing, isn't it? I think it's easy to sit here now and say, well, obviously we're depleted and stuff like that. But for me personally, I thought the people that would sort of step up and given those chances, such as Scott, I was really hoping that they'd step up and take the chance and grab it with both hands. Do you know what I mean? Not to single Scott out at all, but obviously a player that's not seen much football. I think more than anything, I'm just egging him on to sort of play well, because I've said it. I said it in pre-season. I've said it, up till now. I think Scott has the potential to cause problems. He just needs to find his stride, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But I honestly believe that was a 0-0 game. I do believe that was a 0-0 game. And exactly this comment, I didn't rate them that much. They're a good side, right? But they didn't blow me away at all. They scored a goal that, is a very, very good goal. An excellent goal, if we're being honest. So there's nothing you can do. I know we didn't leave our quicker players back. There's nothing you can do for raw pace. If Sam Austin's not and George Abbott aren't quick enough to catch him, well, what are you going to do? And if the ball is like 5 yards to the left or 5 yards to the right, one of those two players gets to tackle him. So it was just a case of that. The penalty is a waste of time, because waste of time even discussing it. It was absolutely embarrassing. Have you seen it with the commentary from Sky Plus?
No, I don't think I have.
So the commentator basically says, "Oh, it's an awkward slip over by," I can't remember who it was, an awkward slip over, and then says, like, they've given a penalty. Couldn't believe it. I don't like reading comments like that, Bob. Who is in for Bedu? Hopefully no one. That'll be a massive loss. I think the only player bigger loss than Bedu, genuinely, in January would be Bass. Maybe not even Bass. But I don't want to.
Definitely Bass.
I don't even want to read that. I haven't heard anything about Bedu, but Bedu's incredible. So, yeah. Martin says, I actually thought we competed well. We just had no punch up front. They had a lucky breakaway and a very dubious penalty. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Replaces Bedu is the suspension. I had my heart beating for a minute. I was thinking someone was saying, because we've been talking about January and things like that. Oh, dearie me. Yeah, he is suspended. I thought he meant replaced in transfer. I thought there's no way we're selling him. Yeah, we competed and then just lost the key moments, really. We didn't ever really look like we were going to score, George. But I don't know about you, I can't buy into the notion that it doesn't matter, the ref gave a penalty, because we would have lost anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't buy into that either. I think that's just. I think more than ever this season, we're seeing how fine the margins are in games, and you do feel like in quite a few of the games where we've just fallen short or we've been unfortunate, the referees' decisions have made quite a big impact on those games. So it's so unfortunate. I think you can't just write your team off because of a bad decision, and this, that, and the other. Like football as a whole, it really is fine margins, isn't it? And we're seeing that this season more than ever.
Oh, 100%. You talk about fine margins. Cerulli doesn't hit the post against Gillingham. I think we score 3 at least in that game.
Yeah.
We come away with a loss.
And it's like in that game as well, the ref was awful.
Yeah. Really, really, really poor. Really poor. Chris says McCauley should have scored harder to miss. Yeah. And obviously their red card was a very, very high tackle on Matty Palmer. And we were good since then. But they have Demetriou at centre-back. And, he's been in my EFL fantasy team for I don't know how long. I know he's scored the most points of any player. He's just an absolute man mountain. He's not huge, but he's got 2 very young players either side of him. He's coping with it well. He's a very, very good defender. I like him at Notts, to be fair. Will be a great player. Paul says, you may have players out, but we still expect a certain level of performance. When it was way off, why do other teams seem to cope with injuries? I still think we're too rigid in our patterns of play. I genuinely think the players we're missing caused the biggest issue. It's not like we've got a defender or 2 out and a striker and a midfielder. They're all our creative players.
Yeah.
Boss Robertson. I don't know anyone else that I would say is an attacking outlet. You had Jatta was a huge miss. We had no one to put the ball up to. AD says players didn't turn up. Crewe were up for a fight. Didsey after the pen barged by their number 4, then laughed in his face. Yeah, we're still a little bit nice. We are, but yeah. What do you make of this, George? How bad would this be? Platt is on 4 bookings. If he gets booked on Saturday, he misses Walsall away.
Yeah, it's bad. With Beto out, you feel like you probably have to pick up a little bit of slack from somewhere. So yeah, the pressure is definitely on Platt. It'll be at the forefront of his mind, which I hope doesn't affect his performance too much, because things like that can, you know what I mean? But carpe diem, Tom. Carpe diem.
Yeah, I mean it would be a big miss. Howie says we played like Jatta was up front all game. Yeah, just not fantastic, was it? Not fantastic on the whole. We come away and did Crewe rattle us last year? Yes. Did they rattle us this year? Yes, not to the same extent. But did we deserve a win? No. Did we deserve to lose? No. So if I'd have walked away with that 0-0, I'd have been happy. We both said on the channel last Thursday, if we go away with a 0-0 or a draw of any kind, we'd have been happy.
Yeah.
And there we go. We've got our first away loss. Look at the positives. It takes a bit of pressure away from saying, well, we haven't lost away, when we go to these big games, MK coming up, Walsall coming up. So there we go. Yeah. Right then. Fans Forum. We put our name in the hat. We got chosen to go. It was a good event. We are doing very, very well off the pitch. Some very, very interesting answers regarding why some things haven't been done in the nest, for example, or why some things haven't happened in the stand, why we can't sit people in the Cyril, which I thought was a very good answer. If people haven't watched that.
Yeah, I feel like most of them, the answers were very, very good.
Yeah,
from Palmer, weren't they? Very, very good, Joe Palmer.
I don't think anything was ducked either.
No, nothing was ducked. Yeah, it was tackled straight on, and I feel like the way that the answers were sort of structured were very, very good. Do you know what I mean? Like it was sort of like evidence, reason to implement, certain ways that I've done things and things like that. The structure of the answers, it wasn't just like, no, we're doing this because of that. It was a really detailed, caring understanding that he gave to the fans there, I think.
Yeah, one of the fans' questions that was asked, which I was very happy with, was basically, are you in it for the long term? To the brothers, Reach brothers, Chris and Alex, are you in it for the long term? And they basically said, yeah. They basically said they want to see us.
They're not going to say no, though, are they?
No, they're not. But I like I was saying, no answer was short, and I feel like
yeah,
because Do you know you've got some teams where the owners are putting so much money, and you think the owners physically cannot sustain this club beyond like even in the championship because of the money. We're not. Yeah, we're not. If we're sustainable, that doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Ian says, "What was the answer about the Cyril stand?" Sorry, I should have elaborated on that. Someone basically asked if we could have home fans in the Cyril, and basically. The answer was no, because currently, as we're not selling out the rest of the stadium, it will just take fans away from like the Pavis or the Cop or the family stand into the Cyril, which would then mean no extra fans or very few extra fans coming in, but they'd have the cost of opening another stand. Security, because there are away fans in that stand, would have to be increased. You have to put food on, you have to put drink on, more stewards, etc., for not really much more money or any beneficial money, which, you know what, makes great sense. And you look at it with the atmosphere. Would it increase the atmosphere enough to do that? Probably not. Phil, he ducked how Crowley often plays too deep. I don't remember that question too much.
I do.
What was said?
Yeah, they were sort of saying about attacking players dropping deep, and then highlighted Crowley, and. Yeah, he did kind of look. He kind of went around it, but it is a difficult question, isn't it? You can't be giving too much away. I know it's a fans forum, but it is sort of out there, isn't it, for people to see if they really want to. So, I think in terms of talking individual tactics for players, you probably have to be careful.
Yeah, I understand that. One thing that I did come away from a little bit deflated, because I've probably got my hopes up a little bit, was we don't, and they even admitted there, don't they? They even admitted the fans form, they don't give too much away in terms of injuries. I remember it might have been Gillingham at home. No one knew Conor Grant was out until the team was named. So they don't tell anyone anything, which it is, and they admitted was to benefit Notts tactically. But it was kind of confirmed. No names were given, but it was confirmed by Maynard that our 3 long-term injuries are all January. And, you know, Jody's been putting back soon on socials and kind of got our hopes up for maybe a December game. You know what? It could be. They could be triple bluffing us. But who are those 3 long-termers, do you think? It's got to be Jody, Edwards and Grant.
I think so, yeah.
So that leaves Crowley and Robbo, who we've heard nothing about Robbo.
Yeah, we haven't, have we? We've been very quiet on the Robbo front.
I've forgotten about him, if I'm honest. He was my
first name on the team sheet.
First name on the team sheet for me, but I've completely forgotten he was injured.
Criminal.
Ian says, I like Joe saying if we get another promotion, he sees us open the Cyril with more fans attending. Have to agree, that was a really good answer.
I'll tell you what would have been an awful decision to make for anyone watching or attending. You know, if you used to play a drinking game for every time someone said pyrotechnics, you'd have been on the floor.
Did they mention pyrotechnics?
It was every other sentence on it. I get it, but come on.
I just don't think they want us to use pyrotechnics.
I think you could be right on that.
Yeah. I might be right. I got a question as well. I was happy with that. Got a question in. If you didn't hear, I basically asked about how difficult players coming back in January will make it for the transfer window. Because like if Edwards comes back in January, we've seen him for 4 games, Grant for 8 games. So I tried to get the point across. Are they banking on those players coming back and improving the team, or are they going to improve it? And I don't know about you, George, but the answer I kind of gathered back was it's going to have to be a bit later in the window, because Montague kind of said we'll definitely finish the window in a strong position. So, yeah. Quite a few people saying on the Facebook they were on the grass. Yeah, I know Grant was on the grass the day after the forum. So if he's not a long-termer, who else is? Don't know. Robbo was on the Insta photos and training too. Dan Crowley with a thumbs up. Yeah. I mean, it's all positive, isn't it? I don't want to become a broken record on here, and I know George doesn't either, but you've just got to get to January. That's it. That's all we've got to do. And then, you know, if we fall away in January, we've not been good enough this season. But I don't want to look back at the season and think, oh, we were absolutely killed by the festive period without players. Did you mention me? Did someone said something like a 10-game window we need to get through?
It wasn't me.
I think I've read that somewhere or got a message about that. Yeah. So Macca back in Jamfield says, George?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you'd be daft not to, really, wouldn't you? He was mentioning the fans forum, actually, weren't they? Talking about, because I think someone sort of asked about, his sale, basically. And they were sort of saying it made sense for everybody. Millwall wanted a new striker. They agreed the fee with Notts, and they were happy with the fee. And Macca, didn't say nearly quadrupled his salary.
Yeah.
Like, in any walk of life, would you not?
100%.
Quadrupling your salary.
You also, you can't deny a player that's basically, without Macca, we didn't get promoted that year.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You can't deny him that. Also, it's a bit, it's not like Macca's a player that said he's staying and then has decided to go. Like
he literally did. Can you remember? Someone saw him like a few days before he went to Millwall, and they were like, "Are you going to Millwall? Are you leaving Notts?" And he's like, "No, I'm staying." Like,
yeah,
3 days
but
later,
did he say that?
He definitely did. He definitely did.
Yeah, he might have done, but yeah, you can't. Yeah, Danny says best way is get hiccups out of the way now and finish strong in the new year. Yeah, got to agree. Hopefully we've got Jatta back. Hopefully he's fit and he's ready. It'd be so nuts, wouldn't it, to put the team sheet out on Saturday and Jatta's not there, and then they put a follow-up tweet saying Jatta sustained an injury for Gambia. It'd be so nuts to do that. It'd be gutting. Going on to Newport, then we've already spoken quite in length about the opposition. I want to say, is it a must-win game? But I don't really mean must-win. I mean, how important is this game essentially?
It does feel like a must-win to me because we've just lost. And when you look at our return of points of our last few games, it's not the best, and we're starting to drop down a little bit, aren't we? So I think we just need a win to just regain that confidence back into the squad. And look, if we can do it with Beto suspended, that gives someone else some confidence as well. So that is only a good thing going into some more difficult games, really.
Yeah, I agree. Because then you've got Walsall, you've got Colchester in there. Then you've got to win Colchester. And I suppose if your team wanting to finish top 3, you've got to win the vast majority of your games. So every game, if you're wanting to finish top 3, is kind of a must-win in a way. Dale, those on 4 bookings in the team have to get to 19 games and it goes back down to 0. We've still got 4 games there, and I can't see Matty Platt making 3 games. I can't see Matty Platt making 3 games without booking. I mean, he's averaging 1 every 4. But like you say, there's extra pressure on him with Bedu out. We'll go on to our team in a minute, but who slots in there for you?
Oh, that's a good question. There's a few options, really, isn't there? I think it's difficult.
I go Lucas Ness. What do you think?
I'm not hung up on anyone, to be honest. I think it's difficult. I really do. I think it's big boots to fill, isn't it? I wouldn't favour any of the options, really. I mean, Ness is a shout. That's Ewan says Maynard likes Ness. So probably Ness then, isn't it?
Yeah, good insight there from Will. Look, never been followed up with. Didn't mean to put that.
Where's he not been then?
Cheers for that, Will. Could you elaborate, please? Please elaborate. It's good to have you with us, Will. Though. Love to see the Notts County Talk regulars watching along with us. Will, let us know if you'll be there Saturday. Let us know. George, someone up here said you better make it on Saturday.
See what happens. You never know what's going to happen.
What do you say to that?
I say, sometimes things happen. Sometimes things don't happen. You'll just have to see on the day. I really wanted to go into. You seen that? I can't remember his name. The older shop manager when he's like, if a tree falls and no one's there, has it really fallen? But I just thought I'm not doing that tonight. Not tonight.
No. Martin's coming up from Gloucestershire. Some effort. Let's hope the game is definitely on. Let's hope the game is definitely on. My weather app's saying a bit of snow coming in the next few hours. I'm hoping not.
Yeah, mine is as well.
No, I'm not having that. But if the pitch is covered, it's 6 degrees tomorrow. Someone let me know if it's 5 and 6 degrees throughout the day. Is that going to melt snow? Or is it still too cold to really melt any of the ice?
Yeah, it will, won't it? It will, but nothing major.
No, we need that rain through the night. That'll clear it, won't it? 16 on Sunday. Goodness me.
Jeez, I thought you were 30. I thought you were 30 next year.
No, not next year. That's not next year.
16 on Sunday. I thought you were older than that.
That's really funny. That is. That's really funny.
Thanks.
All right, let's go for our lineup then.
Tough paper round.
Will you get any funnier? Bass in goal.
Yeah.
People say McDonald's left-footed. Yes, but I'm going with Ness because I think Ewan's right. I think he really likes Ness. McDonald's not seeing massive amount of minutes. Platt and McCorry.
Yeah.
The wing backs stay the same for you? I don't think I have any real options at wing back, if I'm honest.
No, yeah, I think they have to, don't they, really?
And again, I want to see more from Gordon.
Yeah.
I really do.
We've seen glimpses, haven't we? But nothing consistent over a full 90.
No, that's what I mean. I've been saying this for weeks. We've never seen both wing backs put in a performance at the same time. We just haven't seen it. Who do you then go for your midfield? I don't think that can really change.
No.
You've got to be Platt and Abbott again, hasn't it? No, not Platt. Sorry, Palmer.
I was going to say it. Yeah.
Palmer. And Abbott.
Yeah.
Then that leaves the 3 players ahead. I love him, but I don't think I'm not going to put Sam Austin in for this game. I wasn't really massively impressed against Crewe. For me, it's got to be Didsy, Brown, Jatta.
Yeah.
And then
I do like the sound of that, actually.
What would that leave on the bench then? That would leave
Austin.
Who are your options? Austin, Scott. I just don't think Crowley's going to start. I don't think he's ready. I think the fact they put a picture of him on the grass suggests to me that he's not quite ready.
Yeah.
We definitely need him. Definitely need him against Walsall. So for me, I don't think he's going to start. Right. Should we go to our poll question before we do the score predictions? Again, loads of you listening and watching us tonight, so please do give us that thumbs up on YouTube.
Yeah. Poll question this week then: is your Christmas tree up yet? Oh no, that's the wrong one. On the wrong video.
Yeah, you've spoiled next week's.
Mine's up anyway. It's literally right next to me.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'll show you. If anyone cares, let me know in the comments. I might show you. Poll question then: bath or shower? 18% of the vote say bath. 82% say shower. You missed stand-up washing the sink half there, I think. Definitely.
Look at this. Ridiculous answers to this poll. Very disappointing in the Notts community. I don't know. It is a bit upsetting to see Will upset. You know what I mean?
Isn't it nice?
But what did you vote?
Shower. All day, every day. Anyone else that voted bath is wrong. You're going to say bath because it's cold.
I had a stinker this evening, right? I thought I'm going to go
too much information. You don't need to tell us that.
No, I'm going to go for a bath, right? And I did it where I put too much cold in before I got in. I'm just, just sat in lukewarm water. Awful. I just, you know what I didn't think? I just got out and had a shower. So I've really defeated the object, haven't I? There should be an option for both.
Can you just put a bit more hot water in it?
No, it doesn't balance out. Doesn't balance out.
Hey,
What about those who don't do either? I don't know what the alternative would be. What's that? I don't know.
stand up washing the sink.
Yeah.
You'd have
What
a washing
about
machine, Paddy.
what about people that just do it with like wet wipes? It's not great, is it? Marcus says Netherlands shower, but Bath was a great day out. Shower's not bad either.
That's a good one. That is, Mark. I like that. That's a good joke.
There's a cinema there as well.
Some real dry humour there. I love that.
Yeah, we're not into dry humour that much though, are we?
No.
So, right, score predictions then. No, that's a good one. Score prediction. I'm gonna go 3-1 Notts. The same scoreline that it was to us at their place. What are you going for?
I'm going for Desmond 2-1 to Notts.
We've got a 3-1. Desmond 2-1. I was laughing at that, but I was also seeing this. Jordan's not here to defend himself. So Will's put Jordan just sprays himself with Febreze.
Will's taking this podcast for a bit of a joke, I think.
He is.
He's not really gave any decent input, has he? So
we've got 6-0. Palmer, Bedou's in the stands. Platt and Chicks and hat trick. We've got 3-0, 2-0.
What blood would you like? Bedou's in the stands.
3-1. Jatta 2, Didsy 1. We've got 2-1, 2-1, 4-0. Here we go. Desmond 2-2. Will just casually stopping anything he's ever put, and he's just gone for a 2-0. We've got a 2-0, 3-0, 1-0. Positives. 3-1, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 1-0, and 2-1. And the last thing of the day, James is right. Jatta did score from the bench for Gambia. So anything's possible. Literally anything's possible.
It is. No, you're absolutely right.
A few more coming in, 3-2s and 3-0s. Sally says, panicky last 5 minutes. I hope not against Carl Hudlin, I'll be honest with you.
I think we've been all right. I wouldn't say we've been panicking, have we, last 5 minutes?
Oh, you're really on it today, you are. You're having a great one. You're going to go home and go off this and just little fist bump gets in.
Yeah.
Had a good show tonight, haven't you?
Good
really
one,
good.
yeah. On fire.
Leave a like for that. George had a really good show.
Thanks.
He's done well.
Thanks.
So if you are going to the game, obviously safe travels. Fingers crossed it is on. It should be with temperatures warming up, but obviously, potentially some more snow. But yeah, the game should be on. Ian says, see you on the Nest. Yeah, get yourself down to the Nest if you can before the game. Obviously, we know how much the revenue goes towards Notts. Safe travels for any Newport fans watching. I know a few were watching at the start when we had Ian on. Martin's given us an 8 this week, so appreciate that, Martin. We've got 7 last week. We've got an 8 this week. As always, please leave a like, comment on anything after the video that you can think of. And please do subscribe to the channel as we are heading towards our next milestone of 4,000 subscribers.